Good morning and happy Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. I don't know. Another bright sunshiny day. I think we're looking at a high of 76 today. We got rain coming in overnight, some thunderstorms, possibly severe, I think, this evening, and all day tomorrow. So today will be a Friday for me, or Saturday, or whatever you want to call it. But had a pretty busy evening yesterday. I had left after working all day to go look at some windows that we had found for the greenhouse. And as I was working my deal on those, and it's a whole pickup truckload of good windows, I've got to get those picked up in the next few days. My wife began texting me while I was looking at those to tell me about some windows she found. So we spent the evening in a little town nearby called Paris. And it's about 20-30 minutes from here, give or take. Met a real nice couple. They were renovating their 1890s house and they just redid all their windows. So we were able to acquire 30 of the old wooden frame windows. They're in really good shape. There's a few little mishaps here and there, but that's kind of to be expected after, 130-year life. So it's really cool to know the story and the house that these windows came from and to be able to give them a new life again. So as I unload them, I'll categorize them by size. That way I can get them wrote down what I've got so that I can map out and plan for the greenhouse. Now with that being said, I need to get some measurements on the 8 or 10 that we already have. And then I'm also going to have to get some measurements for the others that I have to go get in the next few days. So like I was saying the other day, more than likely, that greenhouse will probably change. And here we go into change. And it changed because we acquired too many windows. That's all right. It'll just be bigger. But I'm going to have to get all of my sizes wrote down and then build a jigsaw puzzle on paper to figure out exactly how I'm going to build this greenhouse and the size it'll end up, because I have no idea. Like I said, I've got to pick the other ones up still and get the sizes off of those, and then we'll do some calculations and figure out what in the world kind of crazy greenhouse we're going to end up with. But we were super tickled to get these windows. It was a gorgeous old house. It's going to be phenomenal when they get done with it. It was just a huge old late 1800s house, and it's just, well, just a gorgeous house. But I'm going to get these unloaded and get them documented down, what sizes I've got, and we'll take a little look at them and kind of show you what we got. Now these windows were all still in full operation. They still had the counterweight system on them, the whole 9 yards. I'm sure some of them are going to be better than others. It was nearing dark last night when we got these. Okay, Floki, we got it. It's amazing the condition of something 130 years old. It's been protected from the elements. It's been with these things. The craftsmanship back then compared to nowadays, it just blows my mind. And if we have to, we can reseal some of this glass. So there are a few that have a cracked pane here and there, not a big deal. I can always get a new piece of glass cut and pop in its place. I just did a rough count. There's actually 32. So not sure where the miscount took place, but it was still our benefit. And they were super tickled to see them go somewhere where they were going to have a good life. Thankfully, we just finished this lean-to because I actually spent some time yesterday morning moving some stuff down here to the lean-to. And now this morning I've spent some time moving some stuff out of the lean-to to make room for these windows. I'm going to try my best to document sizes on these. 25 by 33. They were thinking there was maybe 6 different sizes. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'm just amazed. I'm just blown away. That was quite the haul. We were super blessed to have come by these. Thank you guys so much. If you do happen to catch this video, stay tuned in the next several weeks and hopefully we'll see a greenhouse put together out of these. I went ahead and marked on the top side on all of them, so it'd be easier for me to see the sizes for each individual window as I need them. And then I also marked on the top not only the size, but whether or not if it had a cracked pane. I made notes in my little handy dandy journal for all the different sizes. That way I've got calculations on how many of each size have a cracked pane. I've got all that here. That way I can sit down and basically draw a jigsaw puzzle on a big piece of paper, on a piece of graph paper, and try to figure out the layout of this. While I now have a place to store these windows, I'm going to get the other ones out of the shed and get them out here and go ahead and get the measurements on those. And then I've got some I got to pick up that are about 15 minutes the other direction from here, from an old buddy of mine. He just bought a house from the 60s that he had moved to his place that he's redoing. And his was full of the aluminum windows, and he tore all those out and has them in a pile. He also had a solid glass storm door that we'll utilize as the door for the greenhouse, so super lucky to score that also. We were just beyond blessed yesterday with windows. It's amazing what you can find if you look. It truly is. I don't do the Facebook stuff anymore, too much drama for me, and my wife stays on the marketplace looking for deals on anything we can use construction wise for the house, this or that, whatever, secondhand bargain stuff. She posted something about looking for some windows, and lo and behold, we were blessed with many windows. But I will get those picked up over there here in the next few days. There's a whole truckload of those. Plus these, it just means I've got to get busy. I've got my little stump puller loaned out. I've got to get it back from him as soon as he's done with it so that I can start pulling these stumps up here. I'm just going to have to figure this up to figure out what size this is actually going to be now. This will more than likely be a cedar log greenhouse. That's kind of my envision in my head. I'll probably do the rafters and everything out of cedar post and basically plant it like a pole barn with cedar post and frame off of that. And as you can imagine, I'll go acquire quite a few green 2x4s from my buddy with the sawmill. And this will be a budget greenhouse like everything else around here. Poor folks got poor ways. But yeah, phenomenal blessing here. 76 today. It was windy yesterday. We dried out quite a bit. So now I'm going to try to turn my attention to the garden and get the tiller out and see if I can't till up some rocks. I bet I might be able to find one or two, maybe. So let's get started on that. Actually, before I start the garden, I should probably go through the rest of these windows first and get them wrote down while I've got this on my mind. That ADD gets on you sometimes and you just squirrel. Forget what in the world you're doing. These wooden ones, looks like somebody stripped once upon a time and did a pretty decent job on them. For the ones that we went and got. A month or so ago, 6 weeks ago. And this one, would we consider that stained glass or just painted glass? This one came from family. Was painted by family. Quite a bit newer style window with the galvanized grooves in it. Still a nice, good, solid window though. Now, I'm gonna get those stacked and then we'll move to the garden. All right, guys, finally to the garden. I am going to attempt a light pass in here. Thanks. Kids are letting me know the mailman's coming by. I'm going to attempt a light pass, and then I'm going to stop and pick up rocks and sticks and roots and all that mess. And then I'm probably going to try to make one more light pass and do the same thing again. And then I'm going to take that rabbit litter and scatter it all over and make another pass and just kind of till it into the soil and find out where the rest of my big rocks are and see if I can get any of these other big rocks out. Ooh, but I better go get a wheelbarrow so I can at least have a collection point for my rocks. Now, a few weeks ago, I busted up a little bit of that area right over there by the garden shed. And it was about like this as far as rocky and sticks and stumps and all that kind of mess is concerned. It was just as gnarly as this over here. I really feel like this side of the garden is going to be less rocky than this side of the garden. So, of course, everybody wants to start on the easiest, right? That's just one rough pass. And if we were farming for rocks, we'd have a bumper crop because I threw a few out. Wheelbarrow's already partially full too. Over the fence, I was throwing the sticks and stumps and stuff over toward my burn pile. Not too bad. I think the good Lord's going to allow me to grow something there. It's fairly fertile. It's a kind of a sandy loam material, so it should drain well, but also it's still moist. So it's got a good composition to it. I've got some little honeybees over here buzzing around. My neighbor's got bees, I'm pretty sure, because I've got quite a few honeybees that cruise around over here quite a bit. So that's extremely beneficial to me until I get mine. But yeah, just wanted to give you guys a little look at that. And this rock right here that's in front of us, I think we're just going to leave it be, and we're just going to garden around it. Probably leave just a wide walkway coming in, and this is probably going to be part of it. We may do a raised bed or two, something here in the middle, kind of like we did on this corner over here on this other big rock, and then may end up with some of that over there. We just got to wait and see what kind of rock we end up getting into. I'm going to go over here and uncover my rabbit manure and see just how much I've got. And I'm going to take at least half of it and spread out over this right here, and then I'm going to make one more pass across it and till that in, and then pick up rocks and sticks again. And this is not deep at all. I've only went an inch or two, because if I go much more than that, I'm going to be into heavy clay, and this is what we've got to amend to start with. And hopefully once I rake it up into the rows, it'll get me by this year, and then we'll just keep adding to it every year, and eventually this will be a nice lush garden. But we're going to take what we can get, and this is going to be what we've got for this year. So let's throw some rabbit manure on it. Well, that was just under half of what I had rabbit manure. I'll save a little bit for this center if I find anything here that I can actually till and bust up. And then the other half will go on this side over here. But now I'm going to make another pass around that and kind of till everything in and blend it in. That way it's prepared for the rain this evening. My plan, hopefully that this isn't too nasty of a rainstorm and this gets watered in good. It'll break everything down, and it'll just be perfect and ready for planting. So that's what we're hoping for. We do have a surprise visitor coming, as far as I know, as long as nothing happens, and he should be here probably in about an hour. So we'll wait and see who that is. Well, I'm not even sure I turned the camera on for that last pass, but I may not, may have. I don't know, we'll find out later when I edit. But there's a second pass on that. Second picking of rocks and sticks. Fertilizer is blended in. I found this little gem lurking in the middle of this, and I thought I might see if I can't get this one out. I moved it a little. I'm telling you, this was a bumper crop if we were rock farming. Too old for that. Perfect. That's one less rock we gotta go around. Now who's gonna put that in the wheelbarrow so we can get it out of here? That bugger's heavy. Seems to me like it made the perfect seat right beside the strawberries. We finally had our surprise visitor show up, and he's being greeted by the little rats. They're not real sure what to think about him. We made a trip down and checked out our little off-grid cabin and gave Jeff a little tour down there.
And the sun's right in my eyes.
Absolutely, it does that around here. We cleared too big of a spot out. Jeff was kind enough that he brought some lilies to gift to us, and we're actually going to plant them right in here beside where the irises went the other day, which are actually right beside some canna lilies that we got from Jeff's when we moved his food forest. And I think they're just going to fall in line right in here by them. Karen, that's not yours.
Whoa, carrying a blue bucket. They are not up with that.
Go on, Karen. I ain't planting these for you.
There's probably worms and all kinds of stuff in there.
Karen's like, hey, that's some good looking stuff. Are you gonna eat all those? You're gonna try it, ain't you?
You did. Yeah, dump some of that. That'll be fertile.
Where you seen how bad my dirt looked around here?
That's not too bad. It's not orange, pure orange clay.
A few more inches down.
Yeah. Did this get disturbed when you were clearing it out? Yeah.
Yeah, what's up there in the garden that's fluffed right now is kind of an undisturbed, but this kind of got stripped. So I lost all my topsoil here. What little bit there was.
Yeah, there wasn't much.
There you go, guys. Mr. Jeff at Bobblehead Homestead was kind enough to swing by and bring us some flowers.
I was in the neighborhood. I had to stop in and say hello. I saw you were getting ready to hatch some chicks.
And he was kind enough to add to our egg collection that's going in the incubator. We've got quite the selection in there now.
Yeah.
So even better, we'll actually be able to fill that incubator up. I'll have to show you guys those eggs in there here in a little bit.
Done.
Done. These are the eggs that Jeff was nice enough to bring us. He watched the video seeing that I was fixing to run the incubator and turn some out. So this should ensure I'll have an opportunity to completely fill the incubator. I'll add these to my collection that I have over here, and hopefully within the next few days I'll have enough to get her filled up and we'll take off with her. And just like that, my day has come to an end. It has been a very productive day. I was blessed to have Jeff come by and bring the eggs as well as the flowers. We went and I gave him a little bit of a tour of our off-grid cabin, and we just took care of, I took care of a lot of stuff around here this morning. I got half the garden done. But tomorrow I'm going to try to spend some time drawing up the greenhouse with the window shapes that I have. That'll be for the front and sides with the wooden windows, and see how that works out. And I'll try to share that with you guys on Friday. Other than that, I think that's all I've got for today, guys. And we will catch you on the next one.